Two of the internet's most controversial figures are back at the center of an international legal battle. Andrew and Tristan Tate have been arrested in Miami. British prosecutors are seeking their extradition to the United Kingdom, where they face dozens of criminal charges, including rape and trafficking-related offenses. The brothers deny all allegations. Tonight on DownUpNews, we break down one of the biggest legal stories of the year.
Back up. Guys, back up.
Federal authorities arrested Andrew and Tristan Tate in Miami after acting on a United Kingdom extradition request. The arrests came after British prosecutors announced a broad series of criminal charges. Within minutes, the story spread worldwide. Supporters expressed disbelief. Critics called it a major turning point. And another chapter in the Tate brothers' legal battles had begun.
Let me clear up this news you're seeing on the timeline. The British state has accused me of a crime. They said 15 years ago I did something I wasn't supposed to do and I'm a criminal. But they won't tell me who against. They won't tell me where it happened. They won't tell me when it happened. They just said 15 years ago you did a crime. And I said, okay, against who? We're not telling you. In case you tweet it. Why would I tweet it? What are you talking about? Tell me who I committed this crime against so I can defend myself. Nope, we're not gonna let you defend yourself. You're accused of a crime, you're charged with a crime, we won't tell you who against. And I said, well then how do I put a defense together? And they said, well if you come to England, we'll tell you. I said, sure, I'll come to England. No problem. All I wanna know is, can you guarantee I will not be remanded in custody? They said, no, we're not gonna guarantee you that. If you come to England, there's a strong chance you're gonna go to Belmarsh, remanded in custody for years, pre-trial.
The United Kingdom is seeking the brothers' extradition to face criminal proceedings. Prosecutors allege the offenses took place between 2010 and 2017. The charges involve multiple alleged victims. Authorities say the case has expanded significantly since earlier investigations. The Tate brothers have repeatedly denied all wrongdoing.
And I'm like, so you are accusing me of a crime, you've issued a warrant, you won't tell me who the crime was committed against, if they even exist, because they don't. These are made up victims, completely made up. They have people hiding behind anonymity and just attacking me, demanding millions of euros, millions of dollars for things that happened in 2009. Nobody's telling me what these things are. Nobody's telling me who these people are. Nobody's telling me when they happened, where they happened, nothing. And they're saying if I go to jail, they'll tell me, but I have to fly to England and put myself in jail. And I know you're wondering, how come when Britain, as it collapses and doesn't give a fuck about grooming gangs, doesn't give a fuck about the stabbings, doesn't care about the drugs on the street, doesn't care about any of the real crime, how come they keep talking about Andrew Tate? That's because I highlight the problems with the country. They don't want to fix the problems, they want to get rid of me for talking about the problems. So why do I get to travel the world so freely? Why have I been to 25 countries this year? Because when I land in Hong Kong and the British government call the authorities and say we need Andrew Tate, we have a warrant, the authorities say, well, what's the warrant for? And who's it against? And the British state says, we don't want to tell you who the victims are. The victims don't exist, so no country will extradite me. So I'm traveling the world completely free. No country respects England anymore. Nobody's sending me to them. I'm living as a free man. They keep putting on the BBC that they want to get hold of me. And I'm saying, tell me who my accuser is and I'll come talk to you. And they're like, no, because they've completely made it up. They've made it up to slander me in the media over and over and over again. Their intention is to just lie about me, lie about charges, lie about victims, lie, so that I don't support Rupert.
According to prosecutors, Andrew Tate faces multiple charges, including rape, trafficking-related offenses, assault, and additional allegations involving explicit material. Tristan Tate also faces charges, including rape, sexual assault, and trafficking-related offenses. These are criminal allegations. They have not been proven in court. Both brothers maintain their innocence.
I'm Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas, lead for the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. In 2024, the CPS authorised 21 charges against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate following our investigation into allegations of sexual offences dating back to 2012. Following the initial charges being authorised, we have continued to investigate further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. As a result, 38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59.
This is not the first major legal challenge for the Tate brothers. In 2022, they were arrested in Romania during a separate investigation involving trafficking-related allegations. That case became tied up in procedural disputes. Now the focus has shifted to the United Kingdom's criminal case. The legal pressure continues to grow.
The brothers were taken into custody in Miami by the U.S. Marshals Service on Saturday, according to the Associated Press. British prosecutors allege that the Tate brothers raped and trafficked women between 2010 and 2017, but the brothers have denied these allegations. Both of them have previously faced human trafficking allegations in Romania after their 2022 arrest, but that case didn't move forward because of legal issues. The brothers remain in U.S. custody as the extradition process moves.
Andrew Tate built one of the largest online followings in the world through controversial opinions, luxury lifestyle content, and business advice. His brother Tristan became a central figure in that brand. Together they attracted millions of followers. And just as many critics. Their influence extended far beyond social media. The arrests immediately dominated social media. I can't believe this actually happened. Let the courts decide. This changes everything.
Let's see how this all plays out, but I have a strong suspicion that the Florida, if I had to predict the future, which I'm pretty good at, because I was saying I was going to get arrested. I don't know if you saw my old podcast. I kept saying they're going to arrest me. You have 3 lives. I kept saying they're going to arrest me before they arrested me. Here's what I think is going to happen in Florida. I think they're going to get perp walk. I think they're going to come up with the biggest crock of shit. They're going to arrest me. They're going to walk me in front of the camera.
Supporters and critics flooded the internet. Within hours, the Tate brothers were trending worldwide. The brothers' attorney strongly rejected the allegations. He described the prosecution as politically motivated and argued that the charges are an attempt to undermine ongoing legal efforts by the brothers. The defense insists both men are innocent. The legal battle is only beginning. Extradition is the legal process by which one country transfers a person to another country to face criminal proceedings. Before any transfer occurs, U.S. courts must review the request. That process can involve hearings and legal challenges.
Breaking news. Authorities in Miami, Florida, have arrested Andrew Tate and his brother, Tristan Tate. According to reports from TMZ and the Associated Press, the brothers were taken into custody within the past few hours before attending a boxing event. At this time, the specific charges against them have not been disclosed. However, early reports indicate that the U.S. Marshals Service was involved in the operation, which could suggest a federal investigation. The Tate brothers have previously faced multiple criminal allegations, including human trafficking and other offenses, and were previously detained in Romania. They were later allowed to enter the United States during the Trump administration, but they are now back in custody. The brothers are facing dozens of criminal charges, including allegations of sexual assault and human trafficking. The cases are still before the courts, and no final verdicts have been issued. More details are expected to emerge in the coming hours.
The decision is not automatic. This is one of the largest criminal cases ever brought against the Tate brothers. The charges span several years. Multiple alleged victims are involved. British prosecutors describe the investigation as extensive. The defense disputes every allegation.
Looks like they finally got Andrew and Tristan Tate this time. Yes. The U.S. Marshals picked them up before their thing this afternoon, and it was wild watching it go down. So yeah, they are being extradited back to the UK, I believe, for their bad charges of human trafficking, rape, and stuff like bad shit. Motherfuckers need to go back over there. So, props to U.S. Marshals. Props to everybody. So, They be gone.
This is no longer just a British or American story. Media outlets around the world are covering every development. The Tate brothers have followers across multiple continents. And the outcome of this case could have worldwide attention. Despite years of controversy, Andrew Tate remained one of the internet's most recognizable personalities. His content reached millions every week. Now, those same platforms are filled with discussions about his legal future.
A friendly reminder to everybody at home. The UK government does not care about women. It allows grooming gangs to groom at length for decades. They don't care. They won't even investigate it. They won't look at it. They open the borders and allow in millions of military-age men, God knows where they're from, without passports, no one knows their criminal record, from questionable countries, which obviously have a misogynistic worldview, because I'm the world's worst misogynist. They allow these people to roam our streets. They pay for them to come, and they pay for them to live for free, which makes women unsafe. They have no time to police any of this. They have no time to investigate any of this, but they have time to drag up allegations on me from 15 years ago for talking about these issues.
The next stage focuses on extradition proceedings. Judges will determine whether legal requirements have been satisfied. If approved, the brothers could eventually be transferred to the United Kingdom to face trial. That process may take time. While the allegations are serious, it's important to remember that criminal charges are not convictions. The Tate brothers deny every allegation. Like all defendants, they remain presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. Supporters hope the brothers will clear their names. Critics believe accountability is finally arriving. Whatever the outcome, the proceedings will likely become one of the most closely watched legal cases involving internet personalities.
Ah, my friends from the press again.
Okay.
Hi, friends.
So why did they call you today?
They said I was really handsome. They said I'm really good looking and handsome, and that they wanted to give me a certificate for being so handsome. Most
From
handsome man
Miami
in Romania.
to London, one extradition request has placed two of the internet's biggest names back under the global spotlight. The legal battle is far from over, and the next chapter may determine the future of the Tate brothers forever.
If people know you will fight, they'll leave you alone. This is a story of life. Everyone wants to pick on the man who won't fight. If they know you will fight, it's a whole different calculation. Even if they know they can beat you, it's still a whole new calculation.
The next battle won't happen online. It will happen inside a courtroom. Federal judges will now examine the United Kingdom's extradition request. Both sides are expected to present legal arguments. Evidence, procedures, and international agreements will all come into focus. This is where the legal fight truly begins.
Mr. Keir Starmer, I heard you're in a little bit of trouble. I've got bad news for you because you're in a whole bunch more. I'm here in America and I've just been handed a document which proves that Morgan McSweeney, who was your chief of staff under the Labour government, was behind the entire attack that happened against me. It breaks international law. It completely breaks the presumption of innocence. It shows the corruption of the British state. You are worse than a communist. You're a scumbag. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. You have no public support. Nobody believes the things you say about me. Nobody supports you. And I now have the paperwork. So now I have to decide which judge sees these papers and where I take you and your entire cabal of corrupt pieces of shit who have completely destroyed the once great Britain. All of you scumbags, and Morgan McSweeney especially, are going to see a courtroom and you are going to face justice for what you have done in your attempt to silence.
British prosecutors will seek to demonstrate why the Tate brothers should stand trial in the United Kingdom. Their case is built around criminal allegations involving multiple complainants. The prosecution maintains that the evidence supports moving forward. Ultimately, the British courts, not public opinion. The defense has made its position clear. Andrew and Tristan Tate deny every allegation. Their legal team argues that the brothers have been unfairly targeted. They are expected to challenge both the extradition process and the underlying accusations. For them, this is a fight for both freedom and reputation.
I want to thank the whole world for all the support we get. I also want to give a very special thanks to Romania and the Romanian people. The number of Romanian people who send me messages of support is absolutely fantastic. This is my home. I love this country. I'm going to stay here regardless, no matter what. and I look forward to being found innocent in the end of everything. So thank you all very much.
Few legal cases involving online personalities have stretched across so many countries. Romania, United Kingdom. Now, the United States.
It's certainly been an interesting one. I've been constrained this entire year. I spent 93 days in a Romanian dungeon, 5 months locked in my house, and now I'm restrained within the country of Romania. So it's certainly been a turbulent time.
The moment you got arrested,
Different legal systems. Different courts. One highly publicized legal battle. Millions of followers continue tracking every update. Every hearing becomes a headline. Every court filing sparks debate. Supporters insist the brothers deserve their day in court. Critics believe accountability should follow wherever the evidence leads. The legal proceedings could have consequences far beyond the courtroom. The Tate brothers built businesses around online education, podcasts, and digital influence.
My father died on October 17th, 2015. He died playing chess at a chess tournament, which is the best possible death I could have wished for him. He died in battle, as he should. He was a warrior his entire life, and he died at the chessboard. He was playing a tournament. It was his third game. He won his first two. He stood up to go bathroom, came out the bathroom holding his chest and said, someone call an ambulance. He collapsed. The ambulance came very, very quickly. I think they arrived in like 4 minutes. They couldn't resuscitate, and he died at war, as a man should, and that's the best a man can hope for. I hope that I also die in battle, doing what I was meant to do on the planet. When he died, my father died with absolutely no money. My father's mission was so important to him, it was almost beyond money. He died with $12 in his pocket, and that was it. I've already told the story a few times about how I didn't manage to go to his funeral initially because I was working hard to support the family and trying my best to become a millionaire so my mother didn't have to work anymore, and I pulled it off. And he was buried in Alabama, so that's where my father is.
As the case unfolds, their public image and potentially future business opportunities may also be affected. For internet personalities, reputation often carries enormous financial value. Legal experts continue to emphasize one principle above all others. Charges are allegations. They are not convictions. Andrew and Tristan Tate remain presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. That principle remains fundamental to the justice system.
Missed in 2024 in December due to lack of evidence and the fact that the evidence was made up, invented, mistranslated. It was a disaster for the Romanian prosecution.
Prosecutors say multiple alleged victims are involved in the British case. Their identities are protected under legal procedures. The court process is expected to carefully examine witness testimony and supporting evidence. As with any criminal trial, credibility and corroboration will be central issues. News organizations across Europe, North America, and beyond continue following every development. Few internet personalities have generated this level of international legal attention. The story has become one of the year's biggest global legal headlines.
9 months, where we were at then, September, to where we are today, a lot's changed. How do you feel with everything that's going on? And tell us a little bit about your current state today.
Yeah, there's a very strange sense of terror that comes from knowing exactly what's going to happen to you. There's a strange sense of calm that comes from it also, but in the middle of the night, when you can't sleep, sometimes you feel happy knowing what they're trying to do to you, and sometimes you feel terrified knowing what they're trying to do to you. I think I'm very happy. Every single podcast I did previous to this, I hammered the point home, and I made it very clear that they had the intention of trying to put me in jail. I said, there's 3 lives. They try and cancel you and slander you and destroy your name. They don't just want you to disappear from the internet. They want you to disappear from the internet in a cloud of shame. They have to shame you, and they want you to disappear with your head facing the ground and never pop up again. Obviously, they attempted to cancel me and I became more famous than ever before. I think they made a mistake. I think when you have power and you overuse it, what happens is a rebellion. That's how a revolution starts. When you have power, you have to be very, very careful with how you use that power. The second you overuse it, there's a revolution. I think they made a big mistake canceling me the way they did. And then the second time, the second life, which I described as they try and put you in jail for no reason. Here we are in the current scenario. I knew it was going to happen. And the third one is they put a bullet in your head. So we're going to have to see how the second life plays out. I mean, when this is all over and I win the court case and I get the not guilty, I won't be smiling. I'll be walking out the courtroom with my head on a swivel. That's the kind of life I'm living now. I'm going to be thinking, oh, okay, so their second attempt failed. Now what? Like, do I want to fly private anymore? Do I want to go to that place anymore? You start to think about these things. Like, do I want to do these things? A lot of billionaires dying in plane crashes. It's strange. And I guess you just have to go with the punches and see where it lands. And God has a plan for me and for all of us, and we're just going to see how it ends up.
Full disclosure, you don't have any suicidal thoughts.
I want to make it very clear, and I make it clear on absolutely every single podcast, I would never kill myself. I don't care what they say. I don't care what video they show you. Never under any circumstance would I kill myself. It's haram. Never. I don't care if they put me back in the dungeon, solitary confinement by myself for the rest of my human years. I would never kill myself. Ever. Ever. So if that ever happens, God forbid, do not believe whatever garbage they tell you. The chance of me killing myself is precisely 0.
If extradition is ultimately approved, the Tate brothers would be transferred to the United Kingdom to face criminal proceedings there. That decision would not determine guilt or innocence. It would simply determine where the criminal case is heard. Legal experts caution that international extradition cases can take considerable time. Court hearings, appeals, and procedural motions may extend the process. This legal battle is unlikely to end quickly. The timeline may stretch for months or longer.
It certainly is. And I think my number one concern when I was in jail, despite the fact that my situation was dire, were my concerns as a man and all the people I have to take care of, and my children and my family and the people I pay for and all the people who work for me. And truthfully, I wasn't worried about myself, I was worried about everybody else. And I think that's the true masculine frame.
Did you get emotional? Did you shed tears in your cell?
I'm an emotional man. I think men are hyper emotional. We just have to control it. I was extremely busy inside of my jail cell. I had lots of push-ups to do. I was very concerned about the people on the outside. I was trying my best to get out. It's difficult for me to answer the question because it was an interesting frame of mind. I knew that God was watching and I had to perform. It's very difficult for me to go through life saying I'm the top G, I'm this, I'm that, and speak about mental resilience and mental toughness, and then the second I'm thrown inside of a solitary confinement cell, cower out. I'm not that person. There's some other people who talk about mental toughness and want to give advice, and when bad things happen to them, they end up addicted to prescription drugs. I'm not a coward and I'm not a liar.
No, but it would be perfectly natural to be emotional in that scenario, and there's no shame in admitting that.
I was emotional. I missed people. I missed them, and I knew they missed me. So I felt a strong sense of missing.
But you cried?
There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
I would disagree.
Because you're worried about admitting that? You think it sounds
Absolutely
weak?
not. That's a perfectly fine scenario to cry in, but I think the act of crying is an act of desperation. To sit and to cry is an act in and of itself. To do push-ups, thinking of your children with tears running down your face, but you're concerned with finishing as many push-ups as possible within that day, I do not consider that crying.
The online divide remains as strong as ever. Supporters continue standing behind the brothers. Critics argue the allegations deserve full examination in court. The internet remains deeply divided. But ultimately, the courtroom, not social media, will decide the legal outcome. The immediate focus remains on extradition proceedings. Future hearings will determine whether the legal requirements for transfer have been satisfied. Only after that process concludes would any criminal trial in the United Kingdom move forward.
But I just find it crazy how we've just sat and said about people need to live in the moment and that, but then like you've sold courses trying to explain to people how to be like that. It's just aspire for this.
I understand what you mean, but unfortunately, and it's an unfortunate reality of the world, is that it's player versus player. Like if you go to a video game, you play Call of Duty, right? There's 20 people in there, and we're all trying to kill each other. And the world is very, very similar financially. I'm not saying we should be out here killing each other, but I'm trying to explain that there's a certain amount of resource and everyone's trying to get it. And I understand your perspective. But your perspective is feminine, as it should be because you're a woman, right? But the masculine imperative and the masculine perspective is you have to understand that life is war. It's a war for the female you want. It's a competition. Every man's trying to get her. It's a war for the car you want. It's a war for the money you want. It's a war for the status. It's a war. Masculine life is war. If you're a man who doesn't view life as war, you're going to lose. So as a man, you have to wake up and think, okay, everything I want, other men want. I have to outcompete every other man to get it. So how am I going to do that? Am I going to do that by living in the moment, ignoring my phone, having a fun picnic?
For Andrew and Tristan Tate, this may become the most significant legal challenge of their lives. Their future now depends not on viral clips or social media debates, but on judges, evidence, and the legal process. The decisions made in court could shape the next chapter of their lives. 2 brothers. 3 countries. 1 international legal battle. As extradition proceedings continue, the world will be watching every development. The allegations are serious. The brothers deny them completely. Now, the justice system, not the internet, will determine what comes next.